All right, this is about 9 o'clock in the morning the next day. It's on Wednesday, and we had a ton of rain come through last night that has pretty much changed my plans. You got priorities you got to come up with. You can see how much the gravel got washed out. This is just right up here at the house. But there was flooding. There was flooding down where the creek is at in the neighbor's house. They had it was flash flooding. I'll show you in a minute. And it was all the way up to the bottom of his car. So let's go down. You can see this has never been like this since we've been here. Look how deep that is. We're going to have to fix all that. There's a bunch of gravel right there that needs to come back up. Big old pile. But that's good that you still have it. Alright, so let me go down here. And here's a spot here where the power company had to come in here and cut trees out of the way. They kind of brought the ditch back in, but I've been needing to get the backhoe on here and get that back deep again. But it looks like it did not come out into the road. So that's a good thing. Alright, let's go check that down by the creek. Another spot down here. By a gravel pit. A big old pile of gravel down here too. So that's another good thing. So I can just take my box blade and I may try to scoop some of that up with the loader bucket first and put it back in right there. You can see the water's been coming down there and going down to the creek. Looks like the creek is going back down. There's some more of it this way. You can see where the water overflowing there. What it does is it comes down. You can see the way up here in the road, there's a pipe going underneath the road. All that water comes down here and it's supposed to end up at the creek, which it does, but then I think, in my opinion, it needs to be deeper right through there, because what it's doing is it's overflowing. This right here looks like the creek is overflowing. Kind of what it looks like. Not for sure. And then it came across the driveway and flooded the neighbor's yard. We got all kinds of stuff to pick up. Came from the neighbors. I'm assuming it came from the neighbor's house. Oh, that's over in their yard, so I'm not going to worry about that. But look how deep this got right here. And look at all the gravel there. I don't know the best way to get that gravel back up in here. I have to think on it. We got time to figure it out though, I guess. So, I have no idea who this is. Alright, that was the guy that owns some fourplexes over here. They got some flooding in there. He was thinking maybe our water pipe, our drainage pipe, he was thinking maybe it was clogged up. He said he was the one that actually put that in years ago when the other person owned this place. So anyway, I looked over here. I don't even know if you'll be able to see it or not. You can kind of see it. My water line, that's a sleeve, and it looks like a small portion of it got tore loose, but it's still pretty stable, it looks like. But I have to redo some stuff, but I can't do anything on it until water level goes down, which will be several days. So the water was up enough to come over the bank here where I'm standing. It's the lowest part. Then you also had water coming down the hill right here. So the rain only lasted about 30 minutes, man, and done all that damage. Now, granted, this is not catastrophic or anything. It's more of just the expense that I'm going to have to go through that you don't plan on. But that's, you know, part of your living out in these parts is you got to try to plan for that kind of stuff. But you can see where the water level was at. That looks like that. I'm not sure where that, if that came from there or if it was actually the creek level. Might have been the creek level. But you can kind of see everything looks relatively normal right here. But right here is where it changes. So I'm thinking, yes, it did come across this way. Started washing out all the gravel down through there. And man, this is so solid, it's like asphalt almost. It's not asphalt, but there's a good, right there, see the difference. And you can't even move that with your foot. But that water sure moved it. So I'm going to have to come up with a plan. See, I don't really have the room to turn my tractor right here. I guess I could put my backhoe back on there on the tractor. But I've got box blade I need to do too. So I could start up at that end with the box blade and come down here, maybe change over to the backhoe and take it from there. I don't know. Let's come up with a plan. Alright. I kind of got an idea. So I've got several days of work to do now. But this is the part about that's good about being semi full-time retired. Because if I was still working, I would either have to come home after work and try to do some of this every day. Probably take me over a week. Wait, you know, do it on a weekend. Probably not get done. But right now, at least I've got the option on what to do. It's still passable. The driveway's still passable, especially in our trucks. So I don't have to be, I can, oh yeah, and then my water line, which it's fine. There's a lot of pressure moving against it. I've got it tied down It looked like maybe one of the straps came loose. So, see what we're gonna do here. Welcome to the cleanup. I'm having a little bit of a tough time. I was afraid of what happened, or what I found out, because I was thinking about it last night, is that gravel is actually, it's laying there, is actually in a gully. You can't hardly tell. Not a real deep gully, but it's wide enough to where my bucket, I can't get to it. So I shoveled as much as I can until I got tired. I mean, I could shovel more. It's gonna take me a break. But I think when I come back, I'm trying to keep from tearing my neighbor's yard up. He hasn't said anything. He's at work right now, actually, but I don't want to tear his yard up, which he may not even care. But I'm trying not to. I'm not going to tear it up, put it that way, until he says to tear it up. But when I come back, I'm going to try to split that gully. I'm going to try to go one way here. The side over here close to the driveway, it doesn't hardly have anything in it, so I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to try to get to where I'm just on a little bit of bank, to where maybe my bucket will be able to get to that gravel. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I mean, we're going to get some gravel, some new gravel eventually. And all of the existing top coat in that area right there got washed over into his yard. Now it's down to, I mean, it's almost like concrete because it's been there so long, on the tire tracks anyway. So I may end up taking once I get it to where I want it, I may go ahead and box blade the middle where all the grass is at while I'm messing with it, and get it tore up and bring it down to its level. So when I do get some gravel, I'm going to have them spread it from the road as far as the first load will go. It's probably almost where I'm sitting right now. I'm sitting on the bridge at the creek. So anyway, that's where we're at with that. And I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything else on this video. This may just be the cleanup video. But I'm going to go up and get some water now, take me a little break, and then come back down and try what I just mentioned. it's taking so long because my tractor, it's got such a narrow wheel base for it's a subcompact tractor, that one of my wheels is in the center part, and the center part you can't tell is about, I don't know, at least that much higher than where I'm trying to put the gravel, and my tractor is leaning almost uncomfortably to, well, whatever way you're going. It's leaning to that side where the gravel needs to be. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I can't just come up this bank here, so I got to back all the way back down. So I'm going to just go ahead and do some more shoveling. I put a whole lot in there just now. So once I get this to where I can't, where it seems like I'm just turning my wheels once I'm trying to get it down to a certain level with a shovel, and then I'll probably going to come back and box blade the center part and get it down to this, or try to get it down to the level where it's at now. It's the only thing I know to do, and then we'll have to look at getting more gravel here as soon as we can afford it. All right, I've done as much as I'm going to do on it for at the moment. I've got that right side on my neighbor's side of the driveway. I've got it built back up quite a bit. The left side doesn't hardly have any of the existing gravel left. It's all the old base, which is fine for now. There's still some gravel in the grass that I could get. Not a whole lot though. But I'll come take a stab at it, you know, every once in a while. And we'll just have to see when we can get some gravel. Definitely gonna have to have some gravel. And I've still got to do up at the house. But I've got other things we got to do right now. So right now I'm getting ready to go help my neighbor. He's pulling gravel out from underneath his trailer. bunch to do over there. Not gonna mess it up right now. It's really hard on this hill here. It's hard to do your grading and back dragging because you're always either going up or you're going down. It's hard for old amateur like me to do.